Yeah, Lindelani, ish. He is truly a humble guy. He's very, very humble. He doesn't look like it, but when you meet him, you actually
And
see
on the
that.
stage, on the
Yeah,
stage, you won't look like that.
yeah. He's a very humble guy. I remember when I saw Joyous live that specific year. I was a young boy, a primary school boy, so I was in front of the concert. I was having taking videos with my BlackBerry and all that, and I think he saw me there. I didn't look at him or make eye contact with him or anything like that. But in that same year, we were at an event of I think when Kaya won Idols. He was walking on the on the red carpet when the celebrities come out, and we actually stood there. We stayed there till after the Kaya won Idols after the show,
Mm.
and Lindelani was walking on this red carpet with his wife, and I was again taking a video of him just walking, just of being a fan, of them. And he actually came off the carpet to me, and he actually said he knows me and he recognizes me, and he spoke to me, asked me where I'm living,
Hello to Budget's family. Welcome back. I'm so excited to connect with you again. Show where we gospel artists, musicians, you name it all, and all of your favorite personalities. I know I have a lot of questions, and we want to tell you from where to talk to you, and we're gonna bring these personalities to talk to you. And today joining us is a friend I met on Instagram. How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. No, don't you find it weird that we met on Instagram? Like we developed a whole relationship just because you decided to say, "Let me text this guy."
Not really, not really. I remember I texted you and asked you where you're going to be seated. I can't remember why I
Yeah,
did, but it was for a Joyous concert day, and
yeah, yeah.
saw you I saw you posting or commenting on something, and then I just thought I should ask you where you're going to be seated. I think that's how we met, and at the concert we saw each other at the concert day,
Wow,
and that's how we met. Yeah. No,
wow.
I don't find it weird. I don't find it weird.
Is it? But which is one thing that I really do cherish, because like we just started, like, if probably we just ignored and say, okay, yeah, okay, I'm gonna be seated there, and then that was it, and then we
Yeah.
go quiet and stuff like that. A relationship is already broken right there. But then I love how we kept on communicating and everything. And I remember you're sitting in the front row, right? And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what made me turn to the side, and I was like, no, I know this face. I
Yeah, yeah.
know this face.
Yeah.
It is this guy. Wow, 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 wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. So just for the people who are out there and who are probably wondering, who is this guy who I'm talking to? We're just talking about Joyous and stuff like that, but who is he? Who is Stanley Martins?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm a fan of Joyous, and but apart from that, I'm also a gospel singer. I recorded my first EP back in 2019, and I'm also a pastor. I pastor a church in South Africa called Hoston Faith City Church. So yeah, I'm a gospel singer and a pastor.
Now,
Yeah.
now that you mentioned that you're a pastor and also a gospel singer, like what's let me say it in this way: what came first, the calling to be in pastor, or being a gospel, or where what really happened? What happened?
That's a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. So what happened is I was in primary school when when I fell in love with Joyous Celebrations music, and I
Hmm.
started following them. That's where it started. Not just because we met at Joyous. I'm telling you the Joyous story, but I believe it's part of my story. So I was singing in the choir in primary school, and I discovered Joyous Celebration. I went to the concert. After being a fan for a few years, I got to see them live, and in that same year, I got to meet Lindelani Mkhize. So I think I was about 12 or 13 years old when I met him, and he was really kind, and he walked a journey with me. We're still walking a
Hmm.
journey together, and every time he sees me, he greets me or we chat. You know, maybe I don't know why, but every time I go to a Joyous concert, most of the times I would bump into him. And then we will chat
Wow.
or I'll meet him backstage. So that's how it started. I started as a fan of Joyous, but in the same year that I in that year that I saw them live, we got to be friends, and that's how I actually pursued this gospel music dream. I used to be the biggest fan. I'm not sure if I'm still the biggest fan, but that's how I pursued this gospel music. Started having my own concerts, singing live on stage, and
Hmm.
God actually called me later on into ministry. Um, and yeah, I remember I was also still in high school when I saw the building of the church. I was serving under my parents, and singing in the church, leading worship. My father is a pastor, so I was always leading the worship in church or being the youth leader. So I saw the building also when I was in high school, grade 12, and you know, for without even approaching, I did actually approach. We approached, me and my father. My father's the pastor. We moved to a new place. We approached people for the building. We said, listen, here, we want to have church here, and can we use the place? They said no. A few years later, they actually told us we can use the place, but they didn't know we the people who approached them in the first time. Um,
Wow.
so that's the history behind the pastoring. My parents moved out of the town, and I planted the church under my father's ministry. They later on moved out, and I had to step in as the pastor of the church. And I stayed behind in that specific town, and I pastored the church for a year. So yeah, that's how the pastoring came. So
Hmm.
it's a calling. It's a calling from God. I remember seeing the building, and God just said, "Okay, this is the plan." And yeah, that's how everything started, from music to being a pastor. My father ordained me as the pastor of the church um, just before they moved out of their town.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, it's a journey. It's quite a journey. I see. Okay. You
yeah,
mentioned about getting in touch with Lindelani Mkhize and stuff. And I believe that brushing your shoulders with such brilliant people who are actually doing something in the music industry, definitely it impacts you. What can you say, like, you've really like learned, and you've gotten something that you have taken with you right now, and you're benefiting from it? Because I think in the music industry, we what makes us grow is mixing with other people that are actually doing something, and who are actually doing something, not only something, but something really great, something big. And you getting that opportunity, surely we need to see. And I believe that we are actually been seeing the benefits, and and the fruits. um like I say, my favorite song is deep on that it
awesome, man.
relates.
Yeah, yeah. So you want to know how I'm benefiting from meeting Lindelani? and the impact he had on my life. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah. So
Yes, that's correct.
all of that, and I just want to tell you that he's very each and every time we meet behind the stage or wherever we meet, he's such a humble guy, and he really he told me that he'll support me in my music, and he'll you know
Mm.
he said told me that I should send my songs to him. He gave me his email address, his contact details. He's
Wow.
really
Wow.
he's really a humble guy, man. Since I think we met like more than 11 years ago, and for all those years, each and every time we meet, he makes time to see me, when I'm at the concert, and I say, hey, can I see you? And then he actually comes out from
Wow.
backstage, or he um, says I must come backstage and see him there. So he's such a humble guy, and that's what I've
Mm.
learned in from him. Um, it doesn't matter who you are, or if you're a pastor, or you so famous in music, you can
Mm.
still be a
Mm.
person, you can still love people, I mean, I was just a young little boy. I was about 12 years old, 13 years old. I'm till up to this age, I'm 25 years old now. He's always been the same, you understand. So I've learned a lot from him, um in music as well, because I think Joyous Celebration is my absolute favorite gospel group. So I learn a lot from how he produces. And if you listen to some of my songs, you'll hear that I brought in some of the elements that I've learned and heard
Mm.
from Joyous Celebration. But yeah, he's an awesome person to know. Very humble, very friendly, very kind. And yeah, he's always telling me, whenever you have a concert, invite me. I will come. That's how he is. So I
Wow.
just haven't invited him to any of my concerts yet, but I think I have, but he was busy. But yeah, he said just keep on inviting me, even if I'm
Mm.
busy sometimes. Just keep on updating me. He's really a humble and a people's person. So yeah, that's what I like. I actually told someone one day. I've worked with so many MDs and producers in the music industry, doing concerts, recording music.
Mm.
Traveling, touring uh, different provinces with people and singing in different, it's a lot of work when you're traveling. You have to
True. True.
take people with you on a trip, and some all of that. So I actually told someone one day, that guy is actually very humble and very, in comparison with the other people that I've worked with, not all of them. I've seen a lot of characters, in the music industry. But for someone who's on that level, I've met people who has good studios, they have the best studios maybe in a province, or they're the best, most skilled musicians, in a certain area. I've met people, but I must say he is really humble for someone who is on that level. I've actually said that he has the biggest group in Africa, and he started Sony Music. He brought Sony Music to Africa. Someone on his level, he's really humble, and he's actually, I learn a lot from that character. I don't know how to put it in words, but just how he is amazing for me. You know.
Wow. And I think it's some of the things that aids into becoming a great musician. And so since you say, like, you've made tours, you've had tours, you've spoken, I mean, you've been around many people, many MDs, producers, and everything. um Not to say, I don't know if you're a good judge of character, but if there are things that should point out and say, okay, these are the things that cues musicians, these are the things that cues gospel artists who are trying to make something. probably because it's just maybe they're not humble, or they're, I don't know, maybe you've noticed some of the things that you'll be like, my friend, if you stop this and this and this, you go far. You go far.
Yeah, I know they say your gift, the Bible actually says your gift will make room for you. But I also believe, I don't want to work with a talented person and a skillful person who is not, I don't know if I should say humble, who is not humble, or who is not, rather, just being nice and friendly. I don't like vibes in the rehearsal, and all of that. I know I started off young, so people looked at me with a different perspective,
Mm,
maybe, or I went through a very difficult time in the music, being young, and people might be looking at you. I don't think you're capable of this, or you know. So something that puts me off is when people look at you with that. So what I'm trying to say is I believe your character will take you far as well. Your
mm,
personality, and I believe everyone can work on that. Sometimes you'll meet people, they have the best studios, they the best keyboard players or whatever, and they just not, something about them is just off, man. Then why would you want to work with them? Because you actually spend hours in rehearsal or hours in studio preparing something, and if there's not a nice vibe between you and the person, the music won't be so great. Or can you still hear me? Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, if you have to be creative in the studio and or in the rehearsal. So if
Mm,
we don't have a good personality, or if you're just too grumpy, or you're not a nice person to work with, your character is not on the level that it should be, then I believe there won't come a lot of creative ideas from that.
true.
you know because
Mm,
when you're happy in studio, or when you're happy in the rehearsal, you have that courage to say, okay, let's try this, let's try to do the bridge again, or let's put in a music break there, or let's sing a little longer, let's dance a bit. You have to be happy with the person. So your character definitely plays a huge part in the
mm,
music, I believe, with my experience that I've built up. I love working with nice people. In Afrikaans we
mm.
would say lekker people. So
Like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I used to watch 70 Land. So, I'd
Oh,
pick
okay,
up,
okay.
here and there's an African.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, okay,
okay.
okay.
All
Awesome.
right. Listening there's a day that you posted on your status. So actually, I didn't know that you had an album and stuff. I didn't know, but then I saw it. You posted it, and I was like, "Nah, let me just go and figure it out. Let me just go and listen." I was like, I was wild. I was blown. I'm telling you, the whole week, I was right there. I was stuck on that album. I was listening and listening, and I kept on repeating deeper. I keep on telling you that one. No, because like I was really when you listen to a song and then you can actually, it speaks to you. That was me right there. That was me right there, with that whole album and the whole production. And tell me what inspired you really, like what happened?
Yeah, so yeah, it's not too old, but it's not a new record. I've actually been quiet for a couple of years. I think that came out in 2020. So that's about
Mm.
4 years, almost
Oh
4 years ago.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it shows 2019. I think it shows 2019 on the. But it came out in 2020. It was delayed, so that's why the producer decided to put the date on as 2019. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So how it came, the inspiration, how it came is, I told you that I started as a Joyous fan, right? And while I was I wasn't the singer, I didn't picture myself as a singer. I was just in love with Joyous music and the choir and the band. I remember from Joyous 12 to 14, that those years. Um, and God actually called me into ministry, as I said. I remember singing at the church AFM church conference in the Northern Cape. I was one of the backing singers. I didn't sing my own song or anything like that. And 2015, one of the, a prophet, I don't know him, he wasn't preaching or something, but he came to me after the
Mm.
service and he said, young man, God is calling you for international music ministry. And he gave me
Wow.
all the details. He didn't even start, he didn't mention the small beginnings. He just went to the climax. And he said,
Wow.
young man, I see you in on international stages. I see you singing in domes and stadiums, big concerts, wherever you are, concerts are filled. I see you traveling all around the globe for ministry, and singing and ministering. And I took it. I remember I even cried that time. I was still young. I think I was in grade 9 or something like that. And I took it. And in that very same year, quite a few people I don't know. I think I know one of them or two of them. But yeah, people comes to me, and I remember a lady from America came to me and she gave me a travel Bible. She said, use this Bible to travel all around the world, and I feel that God is going to use you also to spread the gospel around the world. These people are from different countries, Zimbabwe, America, South Africa.
Mm.
And
Mm.
a pastor even one day in a service called me to the front. It wasn't a prophetic service at all, but it just felt like the Lord told him to tell me that I'm going to go international in ministry. So 2015, I got 7 prophecies from different people I don't know telling me you're going to go
Wow.
international. So that was a bit mind blowing for me. That's how it started. One of them even said that God is going to give you the songs for the ministry to go international. You
Mm.
know, and he said he prayed over me and he laid his hands on me and he said he prayed for new songs for this ministry. And um, yeah, that's how it started in 2016. Right a year after that, I started to go into this, have my own concert. In 2016, I had my first concert, and since then, I've been having concerts every year up to now, up to 2023. We're in 2024 now, but I've been doing concerts every year, trying to pursue this international ministry that God has called me for. I went to the studio, I recorded this. So I would just
Mm.
drive to the studio and, you know, God would give me a song. I will just start singing a new song, or I will just be showering and God will just give me a song and I will just start singing. You know, I remember driving from the studio one day, recording I Surrender. And when I was driving from the studio back home, it's about an hour's drive home from studio. Um, I remember driving home and I just started singing the song "Take Me Deeper, Lord." I want to go deeper. So that's how it came about. Just as the prophet prophesied, God is going to give you the songs. I didn't sit down with a pen. It just came. I just made a call one day to the studio and asked, "Can you guys please record?" For God has given me songs and I want to record them, and the guy said yes. And yeah, that's how it came. I don't know, and I got to work with the best musicians in Cape Town. I was really privileged because I didn't have a big name, or you know people didn't know me. We just moved to Cape Town from the Northern
Mm.
Cape, and they just said yes, I can come and record, and that's how it happened. It took me 2 years to record those songs. I don't know if you can imagine, but it took me 2 years to record just those 5 songs in studio. But god
Wow.
god has been faithful to me. um so yeah, that's how it started, from a prophecy to God giving me the songs. and to recording it in studio. It wasn't easy. It sounds easy, but it was difficult. It was a challenge. It was a huge challenge.
Wow. I could hear the quality, the quality, and everything right there is just so fine. And okay, so you've been doing concerts, so that's live, and
Yeah,
then you go and then you have the studio experience. Personally, for me, studio experience, I don't like it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't like the studio experience. I like live. In
yeah,
as much as there's a lot of pressure, like
yeah.
it has to be perfect, but and then it means that you need to put a lot of work. But
Yeah.
which one do you suggest? Which one would
I
you rather
also
go for a live or?
well, I also prefer live. I actually wanted to go live with this, but it costed me too much to go. It costs a lot of money. I don't know if you know, but it's a lot of money to do a live recording. So that's why I decided to go for the studio just to start. And I actually asked them to make it sound live. So I don't know if it sounds live, but we tried to make it sound as live as possible. Um,
That being said, I did go through your Instagram,
okay,
and I mean you started way young. You started way young. You
okay,
still tinting your hair.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was young. I was young.
You're
I
so
remember
young,
those
and
days. Yeah.
and how do you manage to deal with performance anxiety and singing in front of a crowd and stuff? Because I know that there are a lot of people out there and they do suffer from such. When you put them there, talented, very good voice, and stuff like that, gifted, but standing in front of people is a problem.
Yeah.
And rather they might end up even delivering, being I mean underperforming because they are too scared. But you basing that, you came from that also. How did you deal with that? How did you go around it?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. It has not been easy, you know. It has not been easy. But I just made the best out of it. It didn't sound perfect all the time. Um, yeah, I remember with my first concert, I was a bit nervous, but we made it work, you know. And from those experiences, I built experience, and I wouldn't say, or I can maybe say skill, but it has not been easy. I'm still very nervous up to now when I go on stage. It's actually quite weird. When I was younger, I was a bit more bold than I am now. I'm still bold and I can still do it, you know. Um,
Now you think of
but
a lot
when
of things.
yeah, it's a lot of things that goes through your mind. And but when I was younger, I don't know why, but when you're younger, you just have that courage. You know, I'm gonna do this, and I think that's what why I could make it. But it wasn't easy. But God was with me. You know, He really helped me, and yeah,
Hmm.
he took me through it all. You know, I'm still learning a lot. I'm still young, and I believe that you never stop growing. But it wasn't
Hmm.
easy. But I managed to do it. I'm actually a person that is not shy to stand in front of people. I'm actually called for ministry, preaching in front of people, standing in front of people. So it's not been a big challenge for me, but I'm still nervous when I go on stage up to now. But as time goes on, maybe after the third song, or as the concert goes on, it feels better.
It feels bad.
It feels better. Yeah,
You'll be like, I got this. I have
yeah,
this.
yeah. But when you start off and you see everyone looking at you, it's a bit challenging.
Hmm.
But I like it when the people interact with me and sing along.
Mm,
You always hear me say, sing along with me, or lift your hands, or whatever. So that
mm,
makes it better when people sing with me. I don't want to sing alone. So,
mm.
so yeah, I hope that made sense.
It does. It does. It does. It does.
Yeah.
Going back to the album, what are the challenges and the challenges that you face, in putting everything together, with the people, the band, the producers, the whole production itself. The reason why I'm saying this is, I also want, us, like, even to get to know how, or the steps that you took, signing with record labels and stuff like that, because I know that a lot of people out there, they do have, their music, but then they always have problem with record labels, in terms of, like, they don't really understand how it works, the distribution and all of that kind of stuff. How did you go about it? How was the whole production process for you?
Okay, so in terms of the music, there wasn't a lot of challenges. The producer really made sure that everything is on point. When I told him this is what I want, he made sure that he got what I wanted. When I told him I want guitars and I want everything you hear on the album, I actually,
Mm.
that's what I asked for. I literally said,
Wow.
can I have guitars? Can I have backing vocals harmonizing? Can I have everything you hear on the album was my ideas. Not that I want credit for it, but I'm just trying to tell you that it wasn't such a big challenge, because when I heard the music, I was like, this is actually what I wanted, and I struggled to put it in words, but you guys actually managed. So they really surprised me with the music. Whenever they send me the files and say, please listen and approve, I was like, I approve 1000%, because that's actually what I wanted to hear. Um, so that was on a good level in terms of the record label and all of that. Um, I wasn't so educated when it came to that. I wasn't too educated.
Hmm.
I just, I remember the producer said, I will help you to upload it on digital platforms and all of that. So yeah, it's under the record label, but it's actually we sharing all the, not that we're making much money from it, but we're sharing the royalty.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. All right.
six. I'm not gonna say the percentages, but we're sharing it amongst the producers, and the producer actually owns the studio as well. So he gets his share, and I get my share. Um, there has not been much challenges. Um, the only challenge that I had with that album was the release. I wanted to do it for my 21st birthday, and the music wasn't ready. The music wasn't ready. So the music is not so perfect like how it could
Hmm.
have been. It does sound very good, but it was really also a bit rushed. So at the end of the day, with my 21st birthday concert, the music was not ready. We just had to rush to get a single ready, and a single was available. I Surrender was available on digital platforms, which was actually a good. It was a good thing. So that's the only challenge I had, and I've also learned a lot through that. Not Don't announce any music until it's done, or until you can tell people you're gonna release something, but don't give dates until you have the dates when it's gonna be available. Because there's always challenges with releasing music. People might not be available to come into studio. There might be a delay.
Hmm.
There's a lot of challenges. I can't recall all the challenges we had, but uh, I've also okay. There's another one. I've also learned to always be prepared when you go to studio. Um, Even if you've written the songs, you know the songs by heart, you've written them yourself, you always have to be prepared. Sometimes I would go to studio and I would not sing how I wanted to sing, and then I will say, okay, no, this is not what I wanted, or and then I'll have to go back home and prepare myself first, you know,
Mm,
and go back and smash it. Don't over sing before you go to studio. I remember having a radio interview and also doing two concerts and going to studio the next day, and my voice, with the stress, my voice was gone. So
mm.
rest, prepare, drink water, be in the right mental space, spend time with the Lord before you go to studio. So that's some of the challenges I had, the frustrations that I went through. But other than that, it wasn't so difficult. Financially, there was challenges. I couldn't pay everything on time, or let me say, the studio was actually very kind to me. They actually said I can pay off. You understand? So the project got delayed also because of finances, and I told people there's a CD coming, and things had to
Yo,
stand
yo,
still.
yo, yo, yo.
Things had to stand still, because hey, the guitarist and this needs to be paid. The backing singers needs their money. So all of those was a learning process for me. I didn't really have someone who guided me through this process. I just decided, I'm gonna do this. I need to do this. God has given me the songs. God has promised me that it's gonna go international. I need to start recording. So I actually learned a lot from this project. This first project of mine learned me a lot. So now I know how to do this and how to go about recording, what needs to be in place and all of that. So there was quite actually a lot of challenges, but God walked with me through everything. He really,
Mm.
really guided me through everything. And some of the singers that I actually like actually also mentors, like Mahalia. She also gave me some advice,
Wow.
and told
Wow.
me, make sure this is in place, or she just gave me some advice here and there. And that's actually also a good thing that I got to get from her. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's really, really amazing. But so people, please not don't go announcing. Don't go announcing unfinished
Yeah, don't
project.
say anything, just work in private. And when the time is right, you can maybe say that you're cooking something in the studio when you see the project, the songs taking shape, and things are coming together, because it's not easy. I must say it's not easy. I think I could have had so much more challenges, but I think God really blessed me with the songs. God really blessed me with the songs. He gave me the songs, and that really helped me. So just don't say anything until you maybe busy with the last part in studio and you see, okay, it's gonna work. Then you can say I'm busy with something in studio, because it takes long to record.
It takes long.
It takes a time. It takes long because when you record in studio, um you first need to structure the song. You first need to put everything together, bridge, and then you do a guide track, that guides you on how the
Mm.
song will go, how it's going to sound. And then the guitars gets recorded, and a week later or a month later, the drums and
Bit
another.
by bit. Yes.
Unless you have all the finances and you say, okay, let's do it everything now, you know.
Mm. Mm.
But it's a challenge and it takes long, so don't announce anything before time. Um, but I needed to go through that to learn. I
Mm.
needed I needed to learn, and I'm grateful to God for the experience. It built my character, made me a better musician. I now know how to do, and I learned through the hard way. You know,
Mm.
yeah.
All right. Okay. There's a question I want to ask you, but before I ask that question, it depends on how you're gonna answer this one.
Okay.
Because yeah, last time we were speaking, you said like you had stopped for a while. When are you resuming? When are you coming back?
Yeah. So, hey, man, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to do music, and I think God is taking me through a learning, not a learning curve. I can say that a learning process at the moment, and is working on me to take me to a next level. You understand?
Mm,
So
mm,
I'm not even in South Africa at the moment. I'm in a whole different country, and I'm still singing. I'm still singing in here at a local church where I love, in the worship
mm.
team here and there. Not too much. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. Sing. I don't wanna go too on it.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
Um.
Yeah.
So this year definitely. Um. Not that I wanna announce things again ahead of the time, but I'm definitely planning to do a concert in South Africa this year. You know, and I also want to record as the Lord opens the doors. I have songs. So yeah, I'm slowly but surely trying to make my way back. It's not easy,
Mm, mm.
but I also want to focus on the church, you know, in South Africa that I've planted. So yeah, I'll definitely do a concert this year. And in terms of the music releases, I'm not too sure about that. I
Yeah,
can't say that it's gonna come this year or
you're not announcing that.
yeah. But on a serious note, I have songs, but I've not been to studio yet, recording some, trying to record them. So that will also be, but definitely this year, I want to make my way back to South Africa and see how what I can do for the kingdom of God. As God leads
Mm.
me. Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, is if there is anything or one thing that you would want to change, in the whole gospel industry, what would it be?
Um. Okay. Firstly, let me ask you, to which industry are you referring to?
The
Because
gospel.
in South Africa or
Oh,
globally,
hey, let's just say like overly, like everywhere.
that I want to change.
Mm,
Um. Yeah, that's a difficult question. I think it would be because in gospel we have different genres. You understand?
mm,
That's why I asked you. We have rock, we have hip hop, we have R&B, we have and then we have the gospel. But um, I would say some has this, some doesn't. Some has this characteristic or this and some doesn't. And I would like more artists to not let it not be just about you.
mm,
um
mm,
I know you're the lead singer and it's your songs, you wrote the songs, God gave you this, and you trying to bless people with it. But something that this is just my personal opinion. It doesn't have You don't have to change this. If you're a gospel singer and you're listening, you don't have to do this. This is just how I want to do things from my side. um and it would definitely be not to be too in the center. you know
mm,
Whenever I have concerts, I would tell my singers, don't stand there in a corner. Come stand here in front of me, interact, sing. you know I want my singers just here with me in the same line. I don't want to be everything going about me. I'm wearing this suit, I'm wearing this outfit, the
mm.
spotlight is on me. Um, and even on the cover of the CD, my name is written big, and the album title is maybe written small in a corner. And on there, all those kind of things. I wish people can change that. I want to see Christ. I want to see God first. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want it to be about you. Because whenever I listen to artists and I feel like it's too much of the artist, then I stop listening
Mm,
for a while, or I stop following them maybe on social media, or I just don't like it to be about you all the time.
mm,
It must be
mm,
about God. It must be about in the music. Obviously, I need to hear your voice. You leading the songs, you wrote the songs. That's fine. It's your. I'm going to the album, to listen to maybe a specific artist, but I don't want it to be too much about the artist. It mustn't just be about you. It must be all to glorify the name of the Lord. And there's small little things in music, from the cover of the design of the cover to the music, to
music itself.
how you present yourself on social media, to everything about the music. You can pick up when it's too much about the person. And
Mm,
I
mm,
wish that can change in the music industry, and we can just know that this is all about Jesus. This is not about me. um this is all about God. I don't want to make a name for myself. I don't want to get famous. I'm not doing this to build a brand. I'm not doing
mm.
this scene. um this is all about God. And whenever an artist, especially in gospel music, make that decision, you can pick it up. I promise you can pick it up, and you can see the success on that person's ministry. You understand? Um, but whenever it's too much about the artist, I just step a little bit. And yeah, that's one thing that I would like people to change, especially in concerts, bro. Yo, it's even worse.
Yes.
People, it's just too much for me. And yeah, I think that's also one of the reasons why God maybe took me away for a while, because maybe
Mm,
in
mm,
specific industry that I've moved in. It's not everyone that's like this. Don't get me wrong. Don't feel offended if you're
mm.
listening to a gospel art or singer. It's not everywhere that it's like this.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I had to step down a bit because it felt like a competition for me, and I just thought, no man, let me just take a breath of fresh air and just spend more time with the Lord, and then I'll come back. So I just wanna settle
Wow.
down,
Wow.
but because it's not about me. It's all about God
True.
and Him
Mm,
being glorified. It's not about a platform for me. I don't want to be on a platform. I don't want to make it. It's okay if I don't have a lot of followers. It's okay. It's just I just want that to change. I wish more artists can realize that, and then whenever you make that decision, God will take you to the next level. You understand what I'm saying? Because then it's all about Him and
mm.
about the people listening. I always tell people, when you sing, let it be about the people. Don't worry about anything else. Because I used to move with people, and then they would, after the concert, did you see what he did? Did you see what happened? Can you imagine this? Can you imagine that? And then I'm like, you know what? Let this be about God and the people listening. You know,
Mm.
let it be about the people in the audience needing to receive something from the Lord.
That's all
Encourage the
that
people.
matters.
Yeah, that's all that it's
Mm,
about glorifying God, and it's about someone going out, not the way they came in. You
mm,
understand?
mm,
So forget about all these things, because the center is now just on you and the other singers and the band, and you didn't even see the thousands of people in the audience. You didn't experience the presence of the Lord. So I wish more people can just realize that, hey, this is not about me, it's not about them, it's not about anybody, it's just about God and God being
God.
glorified. Yeah. So that's what I would like.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. Before we end, what few words would you want to leave for people out there? Maybe let's say young people, who are trying to make something out of music, who are trying to mature in in gospel, who are trying to follow this calling, but also they are young, and at times they're being despised, because like they say, "Okay, I want to do this, my dream," and because of the age, they're being despised. What can you say about about them? What can you
Okay,
encourage them?
okay. First of all, um, I just want to say, like, just be calm about this thing. Just relax and know that if God has called you, that you will make it. You understand? I have experience of people saying that I'm too young, and whenever I go on stage, something they say something different. So just relax and know that God has everything in His hand. I think with gospel music, it's not like secular. It's different. You're not
Mm,
beyond. You're not trying to make a name. You understand? You don't have to do that.
mm,
Um, so I don't feel like you should strive too much to make it in the industry. Um, if God has called you and has put a gift in your life, He will open the doors. Just surrender to God and say, God, I put this thing in your hands. Whatever you want me to do, wherever you want me to sing, and God will do it. And if you feel like singing and nothing is happening, pray and ask the Lord to open doors for you in ministry. You know,
mm,
He will do that. I have experience. I would sit and I would say, oh, nothing is happening, and I would say, God, do something for me. I want to do something. I want to meet someone, or I want to be on a stage. And God does it. He lets you do what He on the right time. It will
mm.
happen. So don't strive too much. Don't push too much. um, at the same time, also be consistent and work on yourself, work on your vocals, practice, you know but don't force yourself, don't force doors open that are not open. you know um, just put everything in God's hands, and He will do what He needs to do in your life. He will use you
Sure.
how He wants to use you. Spend time with the Lord, spend time in His Word, spend time in prayer. This is not a secular industry trying to sound
Sure.
good. Okay, you need to sound good also. But it's not just about that. You know, it's all about spending time with the Lord. It's all about being on the right place spiritually, um, and just waiting on the Lord. Not forcing things. So
Mm,
yeah, that's the advice I would give someone listening, and also be consistent. If you want to do something, be bold and be unashamed.
mm,
Do
mm,
it. If you feel like God said you must do this, don't be shy. Don't feel like you're too young. Whatever the case might be, don't let people look down on you. Do what you need to do. You know, go out and sing for the Lord. You know, and the Lord will take you places you've never been before. Put everything in His hands, surrender to His will, pray about everything, and spend time in the presence of the Lord. Yeah,
wow.
that's what I
Wow.
would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Powerful, powerful. That was a powerful word. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope that everyone who's out there, uh, they're really, really benefiting from this. From this, this is not just coming from anybody else, but somebody who has been there. So it's very, very important information. And where can people find your music? Where can people find your music?
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate this. Thank you for the invite. Yeah, the music is available on all digital platforms: YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. It's called God is Faithful. So if you just search Stanley Martins God is Faithful, you'll find it. I also have a link in my bio on Instagram. If you click on it, the first thing you'll find the music. So yeah, it's available everywhere on any digital platform.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you, my bro. Hey, it took time for you to hear, but
I apologize for that. Yeah, I apologize. But I'm glad we made it, and I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you loved it and you enjoyed it. Check out for more of our episodes on our YouTube channel at God Fan Community and also our Instagram at GodFan_community. And stay tuned for more.